It's not just show and go when it comes to spring training. There's a lot that goes into it. A little stretching before the ball game, soak it in the sun. Today, with the Yankees coming over from Tampa, the Phillies have pretty much their opening day lineup aside from JT Realmuto. If he's healthy, Rhys Hoskins is playing first base. Little exercise. Doesn't hurt anybody. Phillies and the Yankees getting set from Baycare Ballpark. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy. Ben Davis is baseball ready as we get set for today's ball game between the Phils and the Yankees. Ben is celebrating his 44th birthday this week. He's using the entire week to do it, and because of that, our gift to him is an opportunity to talk about Rhys Hoskins.
Well, Rhys Hoskins, thank you for saying that, Tom. Rhys Hoskins has a lot to prove this year. Coming off the surgery he had on his left UCL, I'm anxious to see what he does this year. If he's going to be in the two-hole like he is today, he's going to get a lot of fastballs ahead, hitting in front of Bryce Harper. Last season, he started to really come on at the end. Despite missing the last 17 games of the year, this is something he needs to do. He needs to drive the ball to right field. He cannot be so pull-happy. I think when he gets pull-happy, he falls into the slump, so he's hitting balls drastically foul. You can wait back on off-speed pitches, use the whole field. That's the Rhys Hoskins that we saw when he initially got to the big leagues, hitting the ball all over the ballpark. Not just hitting home runs in left field, but also hitting them out to right center and also to right field. Take a look at his career numbers. 404 games, 239 batting average. I think you're going to see that average come up this year, and you're still going to have those power numbers to go along with a better average.
And the good thing is he's continued to check off each and every box to get ready for the start of the 2021 season. The fact that he's getting a chance to play in the field again is a great sign for the Phillies moving forward. All right, so it's about the position players in a lot of ways when it comes to spring training, but in reality, it's also about the bullpen and about the bench, which is so important for the ball club.
Yes, we know that pitching and defense wins championships, but to do so, you also have to have a great bench, and you're looking at a really good one for the Fighting Phils here, moving through spring training and onto the 162-game schedule. I'm anxious to see what they do, who they keep. Obviously, they're very left-handed laden hitters on the bench right now. Can Scott Kingery be a guy coming off the bench that can add some sustainability to this lineup, give some guys a day off, but being the only really right-handed hitter off that bench, I'm anxious to see where the Phillies go, but they definitely have some thunder coming off the bench. Guys that know how to hit, guys that know how to have professional at-bats.
And Joe Girardi talked about one guy in particular, and that's Brad Miller.
Brad's obviously professional. He's been doing this for a long time, and you know, I think sometimes when you ask kids to do that off the bench job, it can be difficult on them because they're used to playing every day. Or if you were a kid, you wouldn't be there, right? Because obviously you've had success. So I think when you have someone like Brad who knows how to stay prepared for every situation, you don't ever have to question if he's loose, that sort of thing. He is able to follow and manage the game along with you and understands when he's going to be used. And I think it gives you a good option to give some people days off, you know, because he is such a potent left-handed bat.
Well, we certainly saw that a couple of years ago from Brad Miller, and we'll get a chance to see it in 2021. You know what else you're going to see? Aaron Nola is going to be on the mound today. That's right. He'll be opposed by Garrett Cole. If this was a regular season game, we would accent the fact that these two guys are getting the baseball. But it's going to be nice to see. Cole's going to go 3, possibly 4, and Aaron Nola possibly the same. Yesterday, the ball was jumping a little bit. Miller, and how about this one from Luke Williams? That gave the Phils the lead for good. Lineups at first pitch when we come back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Toyota Camry, now with available all-wheel drive. Visit your local Tri-State Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. By Citizens, official bank of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Learn more at IBX.com. Looking pretty good down at Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater, Florida. The Phillies and the Yankees meeting in Clearwater. Last time we saw the Yankees, Aaron Boone, he was going through the recovery from his pacemaker that was being put in. He was texting us during the course of the ball game. He said he was feeling good. He's feeling good again. He, like Ben Davis, celebrating a birthday this week. You and the Boone's younger brother celebrating a birthday. Let's look at Aaron's lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Aaron Hicks leads it off. Luke Voigt, he's been battling knee problems, so he's DHing today. Old friend Jay Bruce is out in right field, a non-roster invitee. Clint Frazier, he's the starting left fielder for the Yankees, and he'll back cleanup, and they'll face right-hander Aaron Nola. Aaron making his 3rd appearance in the spring, 2nd one in a game. Now, what we mean by that is that last Saturday, because of weather, he pitched in a simulated game. They just didn't want to take a chance that it would be rained out. The game turned out to be played, but he pitched in the simulated game. So this is technically his 3rd appearance, Ben. So his inning total, I would say 3, possibly 4 today.
I would say so. Depending on his command, I look for good fastball command. He's going to mix all 3 pitches in. We know that. Not going to favor anyone in particular. A pretty good lineup here for the Yankees that they brought over from Tampa. Really good pitching matchup, though. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Spring training or not, Nola versus Cole. Gotta love it.
Earlier today, Jay Bruce meeting some of his former teammates out in the outfield. Jay's having a good spring. It's nice to see. He said he just chose the Yankees as a non-roster invitee instead of going places where they offered a guaranteed major league deal because he wanted a chance to win. And he can help them off the bench.
Without a doubt.
And if they need a left-handed DH, he can help them there, too.
I mean, let's face it, when he's 85 years old, he'll be able to roll out of bed and get a knock.
That's right. All right, here we go. Aaron Hicks leads it off for the Yankees. They're 5-4-1 this spring. And the first pitch from Aaron Nola is in there for a strike. We're underway. It's 0-1. Hicks 1 for 13. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, and 2. Andrew Knapp doing the catching today. We mentioned that this could be the opening day lineup for the Phillies. From an offensive standpoint, because Bryce Harper's DHing, you figure put him in right field. I think center field is still obviously up for grabs. Odubel starting today, but that could be Roman Quinn, Adam Hazley, or Mickey Moniak, as Joe Girardi said. Curveball hit foul, but in a lot of ways, this is it.
Yeah, it's a good lineup for the Phillies today, that's for sure. You had sent the lineup to me this morning. I said, whoa, this is pretty darn good looking.
Yeah. No balls and 2 strikes. Hicks a season ago in .225, 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. This will be his 6th year with the Yankees. We got time, Ben. Got all the time in the world is what we have.
110.
Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 4 pitches, 3 fastballs from Aaron Nola. There's really nothing new for Aaron as far as his pitches go. It's 4-seam fastball, curveball, and changeup. Curveball inside, 2-2.
Pretty good block there by Napper. See where he's set up. The fact that he's able to move laterally that way, not easy. I always found it easier trying to block to my left because I thought my right leg was stronger. You always push off with that opposite leg. But Knapp, real good one there.
Out to left field. And McCutcheon on the run, and it is over his head and over the wall. Ball carried a little bit today.
It looked like initially Hicks thought he hit it foul.
He definitely didn't think it was going to go out of the ballpark, but that happens a lot in spring training. And the Yankees are on top 1-0.
It's a big reason why the Yankees play such long ball games, because these guys just battle and grind every AB. I mean, Hicks down 0-2, fouls a couple pitches off, gets a fastball up out over the plate. I don't know how he even got to that, let alone hit it out of the ballpark.
Look at McCutcheon. Ready? He crossed his arms looking at it. Here's Voit. And he takes strike 1. Voigt's been battling some knee soreness. He's been doing stuff on the side while the team has been playing. His average this spring is under 100.
Led the American League in home runs last year with 22. He's got a lot of moving parts in this setup. He really does. But he finds a way to get barrel to baseball.
Outside 2-1. It's really a remarkable story. Who knows if he would have been able to be what he is for the Yankees with the Cardinals. I mean, he could have been. He just wasn't given a full-blown opportunity. The Yankees were just looking to make a roster spot for Jay Happ a couple of years ago. So they had to take Chase and Shreve off their 40-man. Instead of designating him for assignment, they traded him to the Cardinals, and they got Voit in the deal. Shreve was good for the Yankees too, but Voit, I don't think anybody thought that he would be their everyday first baseman, right?
No way.
Three balls and one strike here at the top of the first inning. Pulled foul. Phil Nevin's going to let Didi Gregorius go get that one. His days of roaming the left side of the infield are over.
They are.
Broke his bat. Caught out of the air by Gregorius. One away here in the first.
Batting third, number 30, Jay Bruce, right field.
That'll bring Jay Bruce to the plate.
Aaron just refusing to give in. 3-1 count, goes a changeup, then comes back in the 92-mile-an-hour fastball and blows up the bat of Luke Voit.
Numbers last season for Jay with the Phillies. He played 83 games for the Phillies, had 18 home runs between the last couple of seasons. That one's into the shift, and Segura will throw him out. 2 outs.
That'll help the pitch count
A little bit. Phillies have a whole host of guys listed behind Aaron Nola. That's part of the reason why I wasn't sure how many innings he would go today. They've got Coonrod, Jojo Romero, David Hale, E. Noah, Rosso, Hammer time, J.D. Hammer. Outside 1-0. Clint Frazier does have a home run this spring. He's hitting 182. Pulls that one to third, gobbled up by Bohm. And the inning is over. All right, so home run aside, turned out to be a rather efficient 15-pitch inning for Aaron Nola. We'll head to the bottom of the first. It's 1-0. On the berm at Baycare Ballpark. Not as crowded as it normally would be on a day where the Yankees come to town, but it is cool to see folks settling in, getting a chance to enjoy some baseball. Here's the starting lineup for the Phillies, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Kutch leads at off. He's in left field, then Rhys Hoskins. Bryce Harper hits third. Bohm fourth. Didi Gregorius bats fifth. Segura sixth. In the bottom third of Herrera, Knapp, and Kingery. And they'll face right-hander Garrett Cole. Finished second in the American League in wins last year behind Shane Bieber. ERA of 2.84.
It's that opposition batting average, 197. Remarkable. You want to talk about a max effort guy. Every pitch.
He was the prize of the off-season sweepstakes a year ago. It seemed like he was destined to go to the Yankees, a team that drafted him originally and he didn't sign, and went the next year in the first round to the Pirates. He'll face Andrew McCutchen to lead things off. And Kutch takes a strike. It's 0-1. Two balls and one strike. In between innings, we could hear in the dugout, Kutch said about the home run that Hicks hit. He goes, he didn't even know where it was. He didn't.
Really didn't.
Ball's off the hands, fouled back, 2-2. Where would you put the importance of Andrew McCutchen this year, health-wise?
I'd put it in the definitely in the top 5 for what this ball club needs.
That one hit to left, not deep and foul. Well, I guess it was deep. It was definitely foul, and it was really deep.
I mean, I think if he's able to play 6 games a week, I mean, that's just going to help them out tremendously.
How to play again, remains 2-2.
I mean, he really is the catalyst for this offense. I mean, it's just seeing pitches and able to communicate to the rest of the guys offensively. And I mean, we saw the drastic decline in the offense a couple years ago when he hurt his knee. I mean, that's the bottom line.
He whacks that one into right field, a base hit, so he's aboard. Base runner to start the bottom of the first for the Phillies. Time now for our Citizens Stats Leaders, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Phillies. We mentioned that Shane Bieber led the American League in wins last year. Garrett Cole was tied for second with Marco Gonzalez. And if you don't know Marco, because he plays for the Mariners, just go back and look at his last 2 years. He has won 23 games the last 2 years. He won 16 in 19, and he won the 7 last year. A good player. He's one of those that you would term a good player that you don't know much about, and it's partly because the Mariners struggle. They're out on the West Coast. Only Ben watches all the West Coast games.
Very true.
1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, there's so many good players on the West Coast, you just hardly ever get to see them.
Yeah. Reese, 167 so far, limited ABs. How about that 96 on the hands?
Yeah. Hey, Garrett Cole's not trying to throw it to Higoshiaga, but he's trying to throw it through him.
Yeah, Higashioka was set up on the outside part of the plate. That's a good pitch, just a bit outside. 2-1. Got a little competitiveness to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wanted that one. Can't blame him.
Garrett Cole now 30 years old. You mentioned the Yankees had selected him in the first round in 08, 28th pick overall. At a high school. He went to UCLA, and it's hard to improve your draft status from the 28th pick overall at a high school, but he did. First pick overall by the Pirates in 2011. And they said he just felt like he needed to go to college. He just didn't think he was ready for the professional ranks.
Well, there are worse places to go than UCLA.
Beautiful campus. Beautiful weather. Still, it's a gutsy decision.
It sure is.
2-1 pitch. Fouled away, 2-2. I mean, think of it. I mean, you were the number 2 overall pick, so it's a little different. But was there ever a thought that you weren't going to sign with the Padres?
No. Zero chance. I mean, I signed to go to Miami, and the reason I wanted to go to Miami was to sign professionally, right? It was just that trickle down effect. If I have a chance to do it now out of high school, obviously I was presented with a little different opportunity, which I was very fortunate to have happen to me. It was, I mean, there's no brainer. I remember stepping off that plane in Idaho Falls as an 18-year-old saying, here we go. let's go to rookie ball.
Did you do it with a certain accent or anything?
No, I did not.
Bring it. Don't go to Idaho Falls.
That's right.
Swing and a miss. One out here in the first. And Bryce Harper coming up.
He's thrown quite a few curveballs here in the first inning, and I think that was the nastiest one he's thrown.
Bryce Harper, so far this spring, is 2 for 8 with a home run. On the inside corner at 98 miles an hour.
Just getting warmed up, Tom.
He's finished in the top 5 in the Cy Young voting on 4 different occasions. The first time was back in 2015. It was his first All-Star selection with the Pirates when he won 19 games. Harper sends it out toward left field. And Frazier is able to catch it. 2 outs. And Alec Bohm's coming up.
Another breaking ball that got Harper there. Do you foresee Bohm and Harper maybe flip-flopping in the lineup from time to time?
I think when JT comes back, I see Bohm probably sliding down, right?
Well, or you could go to the 2-hole and Bohm in the 3-hole. Maybe move Reese down. I think that's the one thing that Joe Girardi has in his favor. I mean, he can do a whole lot with this offense.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, as long as everybody's clicking.
Yeah.
But at least initially.
Could be very versatile.
Alec last year, 338 as a rookie, 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Finished second in the Rookie of the Year balloting, which he was asked about was their motivation going into the offseason this year because you finished second. And he said, I don't know. He said, I'm kind of motivated anyway. He said, finishing second really didn't add anything to it.
I just thought how it was remarkable after not seeing any of the pitchers last year. I mean, obviously he's seen all different guys he's never seen before. As hot as he got, he never changed his approach. Lucky to get out of the way of that one. But he never changed his approach. Like, he didn't try and do more. And that's very hard for a young player to do, especially at the big league level. You come up, you have a little success. Well, maybe I can do more. You know, you hit a home run. Well, maybe I can hit the next one farther. And that's when you start to falter. He never did that once. He never changed his approach.
He did say that he did notice that if he had a weakness, let's say game 1 of a series, then for the rest of the series they were attacking that weakness. And he said that's where he had to do some growing up and adjusting. I think that's all part of what you were saying, that he kind of adjusted at a young age. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cole. A lot of breaking pitches for Garrett Cole, and a couple of 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. We'll go to the second here in Clearwater. Your chance to recognize the All-Star teacher in your life. Submit a nomination to the Phillies All-Star Teacher Contest by 5 p.m. on March 19th for your great educator. Your nominee must be one of the 10 area teachers selected to be recognized during the 2021 season. Enter now at Phillies.com. Your nominee may just be one of the 10. Speaking of great educators, how are Bill and Cheryl doing? What'd you get for your birthday from them?
They gave me a Wawa gift card, which I was very excited about.
Here's Mike Ford. Ball popped up out of play.
I believe my mom was 34 years teaching and Dad was 33. Yeah.
No balls and 1 strike to Ford. Ben is hearing stuff in his headset that I am not going to repeat because neither Mom or Dad will be happy about it. But we'll point out who said it the next time we see them.
They helped a lot of kids, that's for sure.
0-2 pitch. Pulled into right field, a base hit for Ford. So Mike Ford, Princeton's own, with a base hit. And Kyle Higashioka will be the hitter. Might see 2 of Scott Bradley's players today. Ford obviously for the Yankees, and David Hale is scheduled to pitch for the Phillies. Higashioka hitting 125 this spring for the Yankees. And a breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Ball and 1 strike. Do you think that went back toward Mr. Spring Training?
It could have.
I hope he brought his glove.
He's always prepared.
Yeah. Rule number 7. Fastball, and it's 1-2. Aaron, his last regular season start last year was that game in Tampa, which he did say stuck around with him for a while in the offseason. In fact, when he was talking about it, he said, I didn't pitch well the entire game. He was only out there for 3 innings or so.
Yeah.
He said, but I was pitching with guys on base the entire time. I had no command. And he said, and that's what I remember about it, is I just couldn't get through it without working from the stretch. That's a good changeup. Righty on righty, he gets his first strikeout. And 1 out here in the second.
Batting 7, number 14.
This is nasty. It just turns it over. Higashioka reading fastball, never gets there, bottom falls out. That's good to hear Aaron say something like that. It's just it does stick with you. I mean, it shows you his competitive nature and his wanting to win.
He was also asked, like a lot of pitchers, how do you make the jump in innings this year compared to last year? Because last year, no starting pitcher reached the numbers that they had previously reached. He said, I didn't really take a different approach this offseason. I kind of did the same stuff. So you have to remember, last year we were starting and stopping. But prior to that, I prepared in the offseason for a 200 inning year. And he said, my goal this offseason did not change. But he will say, however, getting into spring training games will be helpful for conditioning the body. And his goal is this year, he said, 30 starts at least. He said, but more importantly, he said, I want to reach the 200 inning mark, which would be the 3rd time he's done it in his career. So that's the goal. And if the Phillies are going to do anything in the division, he's going to need to hit.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Wade, playing shortstop today for the Yankees. Swing and a miss.
That was a wiffle ball.
That curveball had way different movement than any other one.
That is a backyard wiffle ball. See where Napper's set up. That's just dirty.
Two outs and Thairo Estrada, the batter. Numbers a season ago with the Yankees. Alec Boehm has it. He's going to have to hurry the throw, and does in time. That's a good, strong arm. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. And a man left for the Yankees, middle of the 2nd inning. The Yankees won, and the Phillies nothing. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Yankees on top 1-0 thanks to a home run the opposite way by Aaron Hicks. And the Phillies in their half of the 2nd will have Didi Gregorius, Gene Segura, Odubel Herrera scheduled to hit. All right, Ben, this was a good strong throw from Alec Boehm.
And he makes this play look a lot easier than it was. First he stays back, gets that longer hop, but see how he steps into it and makes that transfer. I'm telling you, this is an excellent play, and Estrada runs well, but he really gets behind it, drives off his backside, and makes that good strong throw across the diamond. He made that look a lot easier than it was.
He's put on weight this offseason. He said it's the same kind of his weight is the same as it was when he was in Double-A. But it's a little different because of the kind of weight that he's put on.
Correct.
And he was asked about how it would affect his defense. He said, would it slow you up? You know, what does it make you do? Or how does it make you feel? He said, well, in reality, it makes me better defensively. He said, because I feel like my foundation is stronger.
Well, we saw the play in the 1st inning to end the top of the 1st, ranging to his left. Good mobility to his left, good range, and made another solid throw across the diamond.
Didi fouls the 98-mile-an-hour fastball away, and it's 0-2. Phillies are hoping that Didi can replicate his pace that he had last year when he had 10 home runs in the shortened season, 40 runs batted in. It was an off-speed pitch.
90-mile-an-hour changeup.
3 strikeouts for Cole.
And that's one thing you didn't see Didi do a whole lot of last year, was strike out. I mean, he's a guy that will continue to battle, but Garrett Cole's a whole different animal. You might say the location wasn't that great, but that's what you want, 8 to 10 miles off your fastball. That's exactly what that was.
And now Segura swings and fouls it away, 0-1. Aaron Boone told us today on his way to Baycare Ballpark that Garrett Cole's listed for 3, but he could go 4 if his command is, I guess, impeccable is where it should be, that type of thing. That's impeccable, I think, right?
Yeah, that's in the no-hit zone right there. You can swing at it all you want. You're not going to do anything with it.
0-2. Phillies have blasted 13 home runs this spring. And it remains 1-2 to Segura. Served the other way on one hop. Estrada throws out Segura.
Nice play. 2 outs.
Phillies fans, suit up for a brand new season at MLBshop.com. Check out new 2021 gear and shop the largest selection of official caps, t-shirts, hoodies, collectibles, and more. Gear up with the Phils at MLBshop.com. That'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. Odubel was 4 for 12 this spring with 4 runs scored. Does have a home run. Change up. I think he's working on that this inning.
Definitely has a lot of toys to play with, doesn't he?
That one's out toward left center field, and right there is Frazier. And the inning is over. Phillies go down 1-2-3. Yeah, they're half of the second. We'll go to the third. 1-0 Yankees. All of your Phil's content in one place. NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com. Top of the third. It's 1-0 Yankees lead it. Thanks to a home run by Aaron Hicks, which was not the hardest hit ball according to StatCast today. The home run by Hicks had an exit velocity of 89.6. Again, the wind helped it. It was the Mike Ford hit. It was 103.5 that was the hardest hit ball of the day. And that's outs too. So Aaron Nola, who has thrown 28 pitches, will face Andrew Velasquez to start the third. Velasquez from the Bronx signed a minor league deal with the Yankees this offseason. Played for the Orioles last year. Played 20 games last year for the Orioles at shortstop and did not commit an error. 1-1. He had to grow up a Yankee fan if he grew up in the Bronx, right?
Had to have. Had to have.
That one is pulled to right field, a base hit. Third hit for the Yankees. And a base runner to begin the third.
Center fielder, Aaron Hicks.
And that'll bring Aaron Hicks up. So Nola and Wheeler will be 1 and 2 for the Phillies, and then you figure Zach Eflin is the third. Matt Moore has pitched very well this spring, filling up the strike zone. He didn't throw a whole lot of pitches in his last outing. I've been most impressed with him as far as the newcomers go. Spencer Howard's looked really good. Chase Anderson's looked solid. So Joe's going to have some decisions to make in the back end of this rotation. That's a good spot.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy decision for Joe and his coaching staff. Who's going to fill out that back end?
One ball and no strikes.
I think I do kind of favor Moore just because he's a left-hander.
I would think so too.
And I think that would add a lot to this rotation. Just give the opposition something different to look at.
Well, and again, I've been impressed with Chase Anderson, and Spencer's been really good.
Yes, he has.
So that's going to be a tough one too.
I think Spencer Howard, it just seems like just watching a little bit yesterday, just his pitches have a little bit more finish on them. That's what it seems like.
I would agree with that. I would wonder how for you as a catcher, if you would sense that if you were watching him in person more, if you could, because it does look that way on TV.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's arriving to home plate differently than it did last year. The games that we saw him start.
Velasquez goes, pitch outside, Knapp's throw to second, not in time. Andrew really had no chance on that one.
All speed pitch as well. But at least he didn't rush. You know, sometimes if you know a guy has a great jump, sometimes we as catchers start to panic and we rush. We end up making an errant throw it into center field, throw a sinker down there. But he still kept his legs underneath him and made a good, solid throw. I think that was one of, you know, I'm just going to throw this just to get some work and practice in.
To the right side. It'll get the runner over to third. The out recorded, 4-3 on the putout.
Hicks not exactly busting it there down the first base line.
Enjoying the weather, soaking it all in.
He did his job. He moved over Velasquez to third. I think he wanted a little bit more out of that 2-0 pitch, though, did Hicks.
And now Voit lined out softly to Gregorius, his first time up. Oh, and 1. Voit DHing today. Giancarlo Stanton is, if healthy, is going to be the DH for the Yankees this year. He hit a 420-foot home run in last night's ball game against the Pirates. He's also had 2 doubles that have been 2 of the hardest hit baseballs you'll see this spring. And for the Yankees, they feel like he is healthy. But that ball last night was, it was hit far.
Yeah.
1-2.
Phillies infield well drawn in here. I mean, you got 4 guys on the, or 3 of the 4 guys on the grass. Bone playing a little bit behind the bag, but as this pitch is delivered, they're starting to creep in even more.
Just try to get him to either swing over the breaking ball or roll over on it. 1-2.
Maybe a good spot to just get his eyes up. Maybe a high fastball here. Maybe get a punch out or just a pop up to the infield.
I laughed because you could hear the coaches in the background, and it's really cool. They had that net in front of them. Remember the days where there was no net in front of them?
I don't know how they did it.
I don't know how they did it either. I can just picture John Vukovich dancing all over the place. Baseball's flying. Shallow center field will get the run home as it poops in front of Vildubel. It'll be an RBI single for Voit. 2-0 Yankees.
I hope he brought more than 2 bats today, Tom.
Right fielder, Jay Bruce.
He's 1 for 2 on the scorecard, but 2 for 2 in the broken bat department. He'll take it, though. The change up there.
Just strong.
Yep.
Upstairs to Jay Bruce. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
Some good situational hitting there by the Yanks. Speed obviously enables you to get in that situation. Velasquez steals second. They move him over, get him in. 2-0 Yanks. Love to see Jay roll one over here. A little 4-6-3.
Well, he does. It's not going to be a double play ball. Ball is foul at the first base line, so we'll start it over again with two balls, 1 strike to Jay Bruce. He was just practicing his stretch toward third, Ben.
Spring training's 4. Another ball on the ground here. Where's the pitch?
Boy, he's really close with a couple of these pitches. That one to Voit, and now that one of Jay Bruce. Yankees last year were second in the league, American League in home runs with 94. White Sox led the way with 96. Jay Bruce could help that if he's on the roster, although they probably don't need much help. The Yankees did score the most runs last year in the American League. They scored 315. Averaging over 5 per game. Boyd does not go. Pitch inside, ball 4. 2 on, 1 out. And Clint Frazier strolls to the plate.
Andrew Knapp out to give Aaron Nola a breather. Started with 28 pitches this inning. See that pitch count now at 46.
Tyler Carr is one of the additions to the roster today, and he is warming up in the bullpen. They have a couple guys that could be utilized in innings, the middle of innings, instead of getting, let's say, Sam Coonrod up or JoJo Romero. They would prefer to have them start an inning. First and second for the Yankees. Voit at second base, Bruce at first, and Clint Frazier, the hitter. He grounded out his first time up. At a fastball, and it's 0-1.
I was watching the Angels and Brewers the other day. The starter for the Angels was a lefty. I forget his name. But he went and started, and he gave up a couple runs. They yank him out of the game. They bring in a reliever. The other guy gets 2 outs. And then the starter went back and started the second inning again.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Spring training 2021.
I said, wait a minute, that's the guy who started.
Out to left. It was hit down toward the hands a little bit. McCutchen makes the catch. Boyd tagging from second. The throw going to third. He is out at third base. Is it still a Cardinal sin even in spring training to make the first and third out at third, Ben?
I think so. I mean, you're already in scoring position at second base. But what a play by Andrew McCutchen. Gets behind this baseball. Throws a rocket to Alec Bohm at third base. We're on to the bottom of the third.
Your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Well, the fanatic will market anything. And somehow he got his hands on.
For the Phillies, number 5, Andrew Knapp.
Got his hands on some tinfoil where he can get himself a little sun with the Phillies logo on it.
Well, that sun's probably not good for his fur, is it, Tom?
I still think he needs his base. Do you have yourself a Phillies tinfoil reflector?
I do not.
Nice shirt.
I don't know if my skin really needs that, Tom.
Andrew Knapp swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Fanatic rolling into Wheels' closet to get that shirt. Now the 0-1 pitch to Knapp. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew 231 this spring. He'll be followed by Scott Kingery. 1-2. He's got his pitches mixing today. I mean, he's got the changeup, which has been excellent.
He is a true 4-pitch pitcher. And you don't see a whole lot of that out of starters nowadays. It's usually a 3-pitch mix.
I don't think you see it out of a power guy like this, too.
More.
Solving the world's problems. Greg Castriato to your left, the Philly Fanatic to your right. Swing and a miss. 98 on the fastball. 4 strikeouts for Garrett Cole.
That's not fair. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's March 11th or August 11th. That's 98 up underneath your hands after a bevy of all-speed pitches.
Well, now Scott Kingery. Scott, our first broadcast hit the home run on what was an excellent pitch for him. That one is smoked out to center field. That's well hit. Going back is Hicks. That toward the wall, and it's 1 hop off the base of the wall. And Kingery already at second base with the second hit for the Phillies.
Fanatic loves it.
Left fielder, Andrew McCutchen.
And that's what you want to see out of Scott. You want to see gap to gap, right? You want to see left center. You want to see right center. The fastball right down Broadway there, and he doesn't miss it. Well, maybe Scott would have a chance to get to third base on this one, but see him busting it.
Fanatic loved it. So now McCutchen who's singled. 1 ball, no strikes. Garrett Cole's reaction was almost as if it was out of the ballpark. The way it sounded, it definitely had a chance. Two 2-0. Got a runner in scoring position here. Runner at second base with 1 out. Tom Hallion, the veteran, behind home plate. Good ratio here in the third for Garrett Cole. Off the hands, out toward left center, loops in for a base hit. Kingery's going to speed home, and the Phils have a run here in the third. It's the second into the day for McCutchen. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Tom, I just don't think Andrew McCutchen gets to this pitch last season. And I'm saying throughout the whole season. But he looks so good. I mean, this ball is up underneath his hands, and he just buggy whips his bat through the zone. He looks really good. He looks really healthy. I mean, come on. What are you serious with that? That's a true professional hitting. I mean, he did it his first at bat with 2 strikes as well. That's a great sign for the Phillies. Great sign.
Second into the day for McCutchen. And now Rhys Hoskins, who struck out his first time up.
One.
Past Dusty Watson in the third base coach's box.
The hanger there. But when you're down in the count, I know he's going to get to it.
Numbers for Rhys last year with guys on and with guys not on base. Seemed like what he and Joe Dillon were working on last year clicked in August, about a month into the season. 1-2. That's why the elbow injury came at an inopportune time to see if he could kind of carry it over through September.
He was definitely starting to use the whole field.
Here's the 1-2. Nope, he's going to have to wait. McCutchen draws a throw.
He's awfully concerned with Kutch over there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Bullpen action for the Yankees. Loaizaga, the right-hander. Shot out to shallow right field. Jay Bruce is in to make the catch for the second out. And that'll bring Bryce Harper up.
Designated hitter, Bryce Harper.
Connect, engage, and keep up with the Phils when you follow @Phillies on all social media platforms, from Twitter to TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. @Phillies has a little something for everyone. Get up close and personal with the team and players with fun, original content you won't find anywhere else. Follow @Phillies today. Follow the Phillies social media accounts. You get a chance to get sort of an inside look on what's going on down at spring training. They're all over the place, and that's a good thing. Phillies team photographer Miles Kennedy providing a lot of the great shots that you're seeing from the complex. Overshift on for Harper, who flied to left his first time.
I'm not sure Bryce knew what that first pitch was. Look at his bewildered look on his face. Immediately he did it again and look back and see how hard that pitch was. Check the radar gun. First pitch was a curveball, I believe. It was 89 though.
Yeah.
It must look like a splitter. Another good pitch there. You see Cole thankful that ball stayed in the yard. That was a good one to hit. It's one that Bryce I don't think is going to be missing during the regular season.
Yeah, he may not get the same pitch.
No.
Might see a hook here. No, we'll see. 1-2. Not a hook. That's 98. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Cole through 3. Allows a run on 2 hits in this inning. Andrew McCutchen, his second hit of the day. We'll go to the 4th. Nissan. Catch the thrill of the drive. Nissan sales event now. Make contact with your local Nissan dealer today. Bright sunshiny afternoon down in Clearwater. Temperature game time 81 degrees. We go to the top of the 4th, and Aaron Nola is still out there. Nola has thrown 48 pitches so far through 3. He's allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. Ready? And he will face Mike Ford, Kyle Higashioka, and Tyler Wade for the Yankees. It's kind of what we expected, at least 4 innings today from Aaron, as long as he was efficient. And if you think about 15 pitches per inning for a pitcher, then he's only 3 above that right now through the first 3 innings.
That double play to end the last inning really helped him out. Still don't know what Luke Voigt was doing.
Mike Ford will lead it off. He singled his first time, and he takes outside 1-0. On the other side, Garrett Cole has thrown 50 pitches in 3 innings. He's allowed 3 hits. They had Loizaga warming up, and we'll have to wait and see whether he's going to come back out to pitch the 4th. Grounded to the right side. Segura up with it. 1 out. Aaron was asked about a number of things before spring training. He was asked about the bullpen, and it was funny watching him. You can kind of sense body language in some ways. And Aaron's eyes kind of got wide when he talked about it. He said, we made a lot of good additions, lots of live arms and guys who can get after it. He said, I'm looking forward to it. He said, I think with the new guys and the guys that we currently have, we are in great position. And the starters, that's important.
And Aaron's not one to show a ton of emotion. You know, whether he's winning 9-0 or getting hit around a little bit, he has the same mound presence all the time. But when he was asked that question, you're right. He showed, so he's like, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Higashioka struck out his first time up. To the left side, foul. 0-2.
Kutch being Kutch.
I like the look of that glove that young boy has, huh? Yeah, the 0-2 pitch.
How do you lay off that? Like, seriously?
I would have swung at it.
I mean, all day, every day.
1-2. That one I would have let go.
But would you?
No. 2-2.
I mean, he budged more at that one than he did at the 0-2, and the 0-2 was way closer. You know, I just.
Didi to his left. Comfortable play. 2 outs. We are excited to welcome fans back to Citizens Bank Park. The 2020 season will kick off with a limited capacity right now of 8,800 fans. Phillies season ticket holders will be given the first opportunity to purchase tickets. I know some of them have already. The public on sale with limited ticket availability date is Friday. That's tomorrow, March 12th. Visit Phillies.com for more info. Tyler Wade struck out his first time.
I know it's only 8,800 here in PA, but at least it's something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at least it's something.
We can get the sense of it down in Clearwater with just the sounds from the fans. Players have talked about it, how cool it is to have that sort of ambiance back. One ball, one strike to Wade.
And it was different last year. I mean, you and I was sitting up our little perch, and like something big would happen in the game, and you look down because you feed off that energy from the crowd, and all you saw were cutouts. You know,
and they weren't doing anything.
No, they weren't.
They looked good though.
They sure did.
Two and two. I thought about it today during our open, where we showed the Rhys Hoskins highlights. The ball to left, the ball to right, and just how crisp the sound of the ball off the bat was with no crowd noise.
Correct.
You know,
I thought about it as well. It was just completely different for obvious reasons. Get it in there, Aaron.
Yeah, the 2-2. Just a little more off that hip, right?
Yep.
Swing and a miss. That is a nice way to end it. If it is his last inning, we think it is. Aaron Nola picks up his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. It's his first 1-2-3 inning of the day, and it comes at an opportune time. Little hook to get Tyler Wade. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies trail it by 1. Phillies got a run in the 3rd. And Aaron Nola 4 innings today. He gave up the home run early, gave up another RBI, but looked pretty good.
Yeah, he was sharp. The curveball was good. The changeup was really good, but I was very impressed with his fastball command today. Mix and match, righties, lefties, it didn't matter. He attacked them both the same. He was just really good. Induced a lot of ground balls, got some good help from his defense. Just really liked what I saw at Aaron Nola today. Nothing bothers him. Ho-hum, just another day. But he stayed away from barrels today, and that was a good sign for the fighting Phils.
Well, here's Jonathan Loaizaga, who will take over for Garrett Cole. Cole went 3 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run. Numbers last season for Loaizaga. A ERA of 3.52. And he'll face Alec Bohm, Didi Gregorius, and Gene Segura. I think if you're the Yankees, I think you're, not that you weren't going to be this way, but you had to be happy with even the way Garrett Cole threw today. 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, and everything was working.
Yeah, very impressed with his off-speed pitches today. Very impressed.
Bohm struck out his first time up. Shallow left center field. It's actually carrying pretty well. And Aaron Hicks reels it in for the first out.
Shortstop, Didi Gregorius.
And here's Didi Gregorius. So the Yankees bullpen, and I bring this up because Loizaga's pitching now as Coonrod warms up for the Phillies. Zach Britton had the bone chip surgery. He's probably going to miss, well, it's going to be at least 6, but it's probably more than that. Chad Green, Darren O'Day, Justin Wilson, Chapman, who will miss the first part of the first opening day because of the suspension. Sessa, Loizaga's battling as Didi takes outside corner. It's 0-1. Joe Girardi joins us here in the bottom of the 4th. Joe, I thought Aaron looked pretty good today despite the 2 runs.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first home run. On a normal day, that's probably not a home run. It's probably a fly ball to Kutch. You know, he gave up a couple hard hit balls and he gave up a pretty good. Luke Voigt did a good job. But overall, I was really happy with Aaron. 61 pitches, 4 innings. He threw the ball well.
Was it important, or is it important at this point in the spring that he gets to those 4 without any issues and to 61 pitches just as you ramp up? I mean, we're only 3 weeks away from opening day.
Right. You try to go like 15 to 17, 18 pitches per outing plus another inning, and it's the up downs that are important that we feel, that you get used to sitting down, getting back up, and having to gear it back up. So that's why you'll see sometimes you roll over an inning or you bring in a reliever and then you bring him back because you want the up downs to take place.
Joe, we heard you say numerous times, pitching and defense wins championships, but you have to be pretty excited about inking some of these names in the lineup every day.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to have a really good lineup, and I think it's deep, and I think there's different kind of hitters. There's guys that got power. There's guys that are really patient. I mean, you think about the first inning, 19 pitches cold through. I mean, that's kind of what you want to do to a guy like that. You want to try to wear him down because he's so good. And Kutch had a good at bat, and Reese, and these guys had good at bats, and we didn't score any runs. But those 19 pitches, it takes its toll. And if you can do it a couple innings in a row, you can really wear down a pitcher.
Well, and speaking of Kutch, we saw you joking around with him a little bit, but his 2 at bats so far have been really good today.
Really, really good. And it's so much of this is timing for guys, trying to get their timing. They're not playing every day. I think it's easier to get your timing when you're playing every day and you're getting consistent at bats. But the one thing is, we got to make sure that we keep them healthy during spring training and their bodies get used to the longer days when you start playing games. So you're going to see some guys starting to play 2 days in a row now here. But Kutch has looked really good today.
Segura takes inside. You spoke about timing the other day when you referenced Kingery. Obviously, that swing today was, I mean, the timing, that was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he did not miss it.
No, and it was an easy swing.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we talk about. You can't overswing in this game or you're not going to make contact. I'll come back the next half inning.
Awesome.
Since I was late. That's my penalty.
No, it's a reward, Joe. It's a reward. We played 4. We go to the 5th. It's 2-1 Yankees.
At Yingling, as America's oldest brewery, we've been doing what we love.
For the Phillies, he takes over for Aaron. Aaron won 4. He allowed 2 runs and 3 strikeouts. And Joe Girardi continues to join us as we go to the top of the 5th inning. And well, Joe, I mean, we've talked a lot about velocity out of your bullpen, and you got some coming in right now with Coonrod.
Yeah, his first outing he was 96 to 99. His last outing he was 96 to 98, and I'm excited to see this. He's got really, really good stuff, and he's made a few adjustments in the way he sets, and it's so far it's been really, really good and electric. So I'm excited to see this, and don't think that I meant it's a penalty to come on another. I actually really like this. I enjoy doing this, so I could stay on for 3 innings if you want.
Well, we appreciate that. That would be awesome. We were joking in between innings. You're behind that net. Ben and I were talking before about how guys used to sit there without the net, and we don't know how they did it. Although it was part of every spring training, but it was crazy.
Well, I thought it was really crazy. And, for example, if I was sitting on this side and the left-handed hitter came up, I went in the dugout and got behind the fence because I didn't feel real comfortable doing that.
1 ball and no strikes to Thairo Estrada. Out to center field.
You know, Joe, just watching a little bit today, Alec Bohm looks really smooth at third base. I mean, he had a play on Estrada earlier in the ball game. There's another play to end the first where he's ranging to his left. He looks very comfortable out at third base.
You know, I'm glad you've noticed that, because I think the work that this organization has done with him at third base, you know, starting in his years in the minor leagues, we've seen this kid continue to grow and grow and grow. And he's made outstanding plays all spring training, to his left, to his right, in, back, you know, whatever he's been asked to do, the tag play. And it's because of the work that the organization and he has put in. I mean, a lot of the credit has to go with him because he has to buy in and want to work. But, God, he's been really good in spring training.
That's a good point, too, about the tag play, because the throw by Kutch was strong on the double play, but he had to make the pick to then get it there, get the tag there. Kutch smothers that one. A 1-out single.
Yeah, so you know, he's turned double plays. I mean, he's made long throws, short throws on the run. I mean, just he's done everything. So we're pretty excited about what he's done so far defensively.
We're showing the throw by McCutchen right now and the pick by Alec, and he applies that tag. Joe, we don't want to put
words. Our guys work on that.
Good. Sorry.
Pretty regularly. You know, like I was watching today, you know, Juan Castro was hitting, you know, with his fungo, he was out in left field and hitting balls to the guys at second base like it was a throw coming in, and then, you know, they did it from right field. And so, I mean, it's not an accident that it happens. It's a lot of work that they do, and, you know, they'll do it from the catcher too, to work on tag plays at second. And I get on him. I say, you know, catchers could make a good throw once in a while. We could get it to them in the air, but there's no reason to work on the ones in the air. They work on the tough ones, the short hops and stuff. So I give Juan a hard time about that.
Aaron Hicks, the batter, with a runner at first base. Velasquez does not go. Pitch inside, 1-0. Speaking of catchers, I thought there was and I feel bad that I thought your comments yesterday about Jeff Mathis were really cool, about just his future, but also just about the kind of person he is. I mean, you understand that being a former catcher, but I thought they were really cool what you said about him, as that one goes over the head of Reese. And Velasquez will stop at second. I think that one got away.
Good job by Reese getting there. Yeah, I would say that got away. That was a bit up.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that we work on all spring long too. So, you know, you make a mental note of that. And you say, okay,
yeah,
maybe we need to do a little bit more. But yeah, I think Jeff Mathis, you know, knows, and I like a player that's proactive, knows that he can't play forever. You know, some guys don't necessarily think a whole lot what they're going to do after. In those first couple of years, it's you know, it can be a little bit difficult because they're so used to certain times in their life being extremely busy. And I like that he's taken an interest. You know, I think he wants to eventually coach. And, you know, and the one thing that I love is that, you know, I think he talks to our young catchers, and you watch him go about his business, and you can learn so much from him. And obviously, I think he played, you know, and he came up in a great system in the Angels system where Mike Scioscia was a great manager. And, you know, he was a catcher and understood, you know, different situations, how you take advantages of, you know, defensive positioning as a hitter. They did a lot of things. I mean, they hit and run. They did a ton of things. So I think he really understands the game, and I think one day he wants to manage, and I think it's great that he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, I just thought it was the stories of it were cool that were written today by the writers, but also your explanation of it yesterday was really good, because he does look, I mean, it's our first long look at him every day, but he looks smooth behind the plate still at 36 years old.
Yeah, I mean, he has been a real good catcher for a long, long time. And defense has been, you know, his calling card, which, you know, I know from being a manager.
Out to right center field. That's going to roll toward the warning track into the wall. And a run will score. RBI double.
I know from being a manager, you want to feel good about the guy behind the plate, that he's prepared, knows exactly what he's going to do, and that he's defensive minded, right? I mean, you can be offensive minded, but you better be defensive minded too, because you could save a lot of runs. I always think about catchers can save a lot of runs by the fingers that they put down, the comfort in the pitchers in him to block balls, to do the things, to be prepared, to know what the right pitch. You know how to get out every hitter, so the pitcher can just concentrate on a pitch, and he does that. I mean, he knows what he's doing back there.
Joe, if you look at the dynamic between the pitcher and the catcher, I mean, obviously, sometimes we're almost like babysitters, right? Because each pitcher has a different personality. Do you find it to be the same with being a manager as being a catcher behind the plate? Some guys can go out and ride hard. Other guys, you have to kind of pamper to them. Do you find it the same as from the managerial standpoint?
Oh yeah, and you know, the one thing is some catchers are going to be further ahead at certain times in their career, and some catchers still, you know, are learning, and I mean, that's not unusual. I think it depends on a lot of your experiences as a catcher, how many pitches you got to call when you were in high school and college, or you know, was it coming from the bench, and you learn sequencing, and you learn about a lot of different things in managing a game. It comes natural for some guys more than others. Sometimes you'll see a guy move positions. You know, I mean, you look at Marshawn, and he was an infielder. Yeah. You know, growing up, but it came quick for him for whatever reason. It's not a lot. You know, I'm sure it's a lot of hard work, but I mean, I think he has a real good understanding of what he's doing, and I like our catching, you know, stable. I think all these guys are pretty good at it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Joe, I mean, just last few years, Ben will agree with this. There was nothing several years ago, and now all of a sudden, and it's tremendous to see all these young kids.
Yeah, it really is. You know, we got a bunch of them here, and Hoppy and Cabral and Duran, and I mean, that's not something every organization necessarily has. You know, and they may not all play here, but they might be really important to our organization moving forward for different reasons, right? So, I mean, I don't ever think you can have too many catchers, because as Ben knows, we're only one foul tip away from being out for a while. So you better have depth.
Joe, he had the full gear on yesterday, just so you know. He said he caught a bullpen. He caught a bullpen yesterday, he said.
I did. I caught a bullpen. I cup and all, full gear. and you know what, Joe, I'll tell you, getting down's still easy. That's the getting back up
part.
Up.
Yeah.
That's the one that's starting to get to me.
Yeah. People, I say, you know, do you want to catch? Would you want to catch? I'm like, heck no, I don't want to catch. I don't want to put that gear on. I was telling these guys the other day, one of them took a foul tip, and I said, man, I don't miss that. No. And I don't miss this, and I don't miss that. And I'm okay not catching anymore.
It's so great. 2-1 pitch to Jay Bruce. 2-2.
Coonrod looks really good here, Joe. I mean, the ball is exploding out of his hand. That was 98 and had looked like a left-handed slider. Nasty.
Yeah, he's got movement. So, you know, for him, it's command and being ahead in the count, because hitters are going to chase, because it's going to look like a strike, and sometimes it's going to dart out of the zone.
See if he goes back to the same thing. Fly ball out to left field. McCutchen moving well, and it is foul. That's the way I thought Hicks's ball was going to go.
Clubhouse.
He is on the way to the clubhouse.
Got to make sure Kutch comes back here. He's had a good day.
We're showing the graphic we had yesterday about the velocity with what you have it coming out of the bullpen. So pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it makes me smile.
Yeah.
Someone asked me about it. I said, what makes me smile?
Is it hard sometimes as a manager when you have a young bullpen? Is it easier when you have a veteran bullpen just because you know that they know what they're doing?
Where was that pitch?
Miss middle, Joe. Miss middle.
That was a good pitch.
Oh my! Tommy usually likes ringing him up too, right?
Exactly,
and he's loud,
what I was
trying to get him to do one. Right?
Jay Bruce has a big
he's out of practice.
He got a couple of them earlier too. To the right side. Gino's up with it. Yep. Well, Joe, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Joe.
This was fun, and we'll be back when?
Saturday.
Friday.
Saturday. Saturday.
Saturday.
We're giving you a day off tomorrow from us, so we'll see you on Saturday. Thanks, Joe. Yankees score a run. Couple hits. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th.
The hiring of David Dombrowski, the season ahead, and so much more. Listen to Larry on the latest Phillies Talk podcast, brought to you by Team Toyota.
I got to tell you, that was an excellent read.
Well, thank you, Tom.
Excellent read.
I don't have the big booming voice like you, but
that was excellent.
Try to make do.
Always love listening to Larry Boa, and that would be an opportunity because, you know, one thing about Bo that we've all learned, and he and I used to do when he was managing, we used to do a weekly radio show at a car dealer, and that's where I really got to know him. That was, God, that was so long ago. But anyway, he'll say whatever's on his mind, as everybody knows. He'll assess, and particularly with these guys, the fact that he'll be so open because he's so comfortable with them too. Here's Odubel against Loaizaga. Yeah, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Herrera flied out to left. Phillies only have 3 hits today. The Yankees have 6. 2-0. Phillies are scheduled to have Jankowski come in for Odubel later on. At the knees. 2-1. He was a little out in front of that one.
Yes, he was. Are they the glasses Dr. Emmett Brown wore in Back to the Future?
Whatever helps, Ben.
I guess.
Popped up. Odubel probably wishes he can go back at least 1 pitch.
It was a 5-pitch at bat. He threw 1 fastball at 97. Everything else was off speed. I'm thinking if I got 97 in the tank, I might go to it a little more frequently. But it was effective.
There's Andrew Knapp with 1 out at the bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew struck out against Garrett Cole. Cole had 5 strikeouts today in 3 innings for the Yankees. JoJo Romero is up and throwing in the pen for the Phillies. That one's pulled right into the shift. Softly hit. And Velasquez throws out Knapp for the 2nd out.
Right fielder, Scott Kingery.
And now Kingery. Kingery doubled and scored in the 3rd. He's the only runner across the plate for the Phillies.
You know, we heard Joe talk about how free and easy that swing was when he hit that double. It's the truth. I mean, Scotty's he's blessed with a quick bat. You know, that the harder we swing, sometimes the slower our bat gets. He's got that luxury of having a quick bat. Doesn't have to try and do a whole lot. Doesn't have to try and help it.
Nice play by Loaizaga, and he's going to have another easy inning as he retires the Phillies 1-2-3. He's faced 6. He's retired all 6. That was just a 9-pitch 5th inning. We'll move on to the top of the 6th. Yankees up 2. Welcome welcome Shane Victorino to talk about life lessons and his love of baseball. Join Tom Burgoyne and John Brazier for an inside look into Shane's days in Philly, including that special grand slam and helping the Phillies win the 2008 World Series. Phillies.com/podcasts. Kutch's day is over. Somebody's got to clean that uniform. He had a good day, though.
Great
Outfield
day.
assist, a couple hits, RBI. Matt Verling takes over in left field. And JoJo Romero takes over on the mounds. By the way, Kevin Franzen, speaking of Phillies podcasts, is going to have Jeff Mathis on later. It'll drop, Ben. That's the term that the folks like to use.
Correct.
It'll drop later.
Franny just sent me a couple texts about how impressed he was with Kutch today.
You think he'll talk about it on his podcast?
He might.
Pine tar for breakfast.
Pine tar for breakfast.
Yeah, I think that what you saw from Andrew today is what I think everybody's excited to see for this season. And good for him, too, because he's worked his tail off to get healthy. As JoJo delivers outside, 1-1 to Clint Frazier. Frazier is grounded out, and he's the one that flied out to the double play. Two and one. Hot shot, base hit it to left field. And Frazier is a leadoff batter. Is the leadoff hitter aboard here in the 6th inning.
First baseman Mike Ford.
Clint Frazier will check out of the ball game. Supposed to be Socrates Brito that would come in for him. And there he is. Old Socrates. One of 15 non-roster invitees the Yankees have on the roster today. Back toward the middle should be 2. Didi, easy flip for 1. Over to first. Very benevolent of him to give the put out an assist to Gene Segura.
Yeah, Mike Ford, not the fleetest of foot. I think that's why if there's a more sense of urgency there, I think you'd have seen Didi take that himself. Just working on things, Tom. Working on the transfer.
And
Gene,
now
he sure does have some arm strength, doesn't he?
he does. Shortstop arm at second base. Higashioka. He is 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out. I think this is an interesting position for the Yankees because Gary Sanchez can hit. There's no doubt, and he's hitting this spring. But how much will Higashioka catch, because he's a better defensive catcher than Gary Sanchez? I think it's safe that he's going to catch Garrett Cole. At least it seems that way.
I mean, what's more important, preventing runs, or, you know, are you going to let more runs in than you're going to produce? That you're going to drive in? I mean, that's what it's ultimately going to come down to, isn't it?
Really hard to take the Sanchez bat out of the lineup, though.
I know.
Foul tip. Good inning for JoJo Romero. The double play certainly helps. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. Middle of the 6th. Matt Verling will lead it off when we get back. Baseball is brought to you by your Philadelphia area local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Nice to see Aaron Boone back managing the Yankees. Aaron celebrating his birthday along with you, Ben. You guys could have had a party together.
We could have.
Loaizaga getting set for his 3rd inning of work. He only threw 9 pitches in the last inning. Yankees have made some adjustments to their lineup. Brito is in left field. Allen takes over in center field. The first pitch to Verling is taken inside. And Lemaire is now in right field. Should be Max McDowell behind the plate, the new catcher. And Chris Gittens is over at first base. Verling off the hands. This has been a crisp 7 batters from Weiser.
I mean, that's a 2-0 count. You're sitting dead red. And you get just a turbo sinker off your knuckles.
Hoskins 0 for 2. He is struck out and he's flat out to right field. Another one. This one a little harder back to the box. That's his 3rd consecutive assist. It kind of tells you where the location of his pitches are, that he's been able to get the ball off the barrel of the bat, right?
Yep. That's a high fastball there to Hoskins. Reese kind of stood up to get to it. We're going to get rid of the space ball.
I don't know. I thought it was working pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Bryce is 0 for 2. He's fly to left and he is struck out.
Loves his off-speed pitches, doesn't he?
He does.
No way.
Another one back to the box. That's 4 straight outs recorded on bouncing balls in all different kinds of personalities. Back to Loizaga. And the side is retired. 9 up, 9 down. We go to the 7th. 3-1 Yankees. First on the home run by Hicks, added another one in the 3rd. And the Phillies got their run in the bottom of the 3rd on a base hit from Andrew McCutchen. Good starting pitching today on both ends. Garrett Cole 3 innings, 1 earned run for the Yankees. Aaron Nola 4 innings and 3 strikeouts for the Phillies. We go to the top of the 7th inning, and Didi Gregorius has been nice enough to join us down in Clearwater. Didi, Tom, and Ben up here in Philadelphia. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How was your off season, by the way?
All right. It was a little bit hectic, not knowing where I'm going to go and all that stuff. But besides that, just working and trying to get better, So just doing the things I need to do to get ready for the season.
We were happy when the Phillies re-signed you. How happy were you to get that sort of done and get, to know where you were going?
Oh, man, it's good. It was a good time, to come back with these guys and play and have fun. Like, we got some stuff that we got to finish from last year. So the team is good, and we're ready for it.
Didi, we always talk about being strong up the middle, and obviously you and Gene at second base are, I think, as strong as anybody in the league. Talk about your relationship with Gene and how you two get along.
Yo, the foot. Ow.
Ooh. Al is right. He tried to make a circus play.
Yeah.
He's smiling, so that's a good thing, Didi.
I play. Yeah. He's still walking, and he's good. So. Yeah, so for me it was more, I met Gene actually in the minor league, so we play against each other. So, and then once we got a chance to play with each other now, against each other first, and then we play a chance with each other. It's you know, the chemistry is still there. You know, I got here, came over. You know, we always try to crack jokes and keep each other loose. You know, I think that's the best part of the game, and play the game the right way. I think that will go a long way for both of us.
How important is it to have such a solid double play combination for this pitching staff, Didi?
I mean, it's good. You know, you need not just like up the middle. You know, just all around good infield. You know, I think that's what you need. So. We need guys who we have a lot of pitchers that throw two-seamers, so they get a lot of grounders. So I think if you're ready, every pitch, I mean, infielder, they trust the infielders to throw that pitch, and then for the pitcher to throw that pitch, so the infielders can get it and make everything smooth and get a double play, you know, every time they need it. So I think it's the best thing they can do about it.
Didi, is this going to be the year we see a home run to left field?
I don't know. I've been trying to work on it, as you can see, but all I've been doing is just messing.
It is amazing,
I think I'm too much on the plate. Maybe I gotta get off, and maybe we'll see something different.
No, but you never know. You don't want to change everything else, though. That's the problem. I mean, the swing is sweet.
That's the thing. It's swing is still in progress. You know, it's not the sweetest swing, but it's still in progress. But I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, if I'm on the plate, you know, if pitches away from me when I extend my arm, looks like right down the middle. So I think that's one of the things. And now we got a hit by pitch.
I think that just got a piece. I think it got a piece of nap too behind the plate.
No, Didi, I know you had 2 strikeouts today, but it's something that you really take a lot of pride in is not striking out. We saw it last year. It's something you could be down 0-2, and all of a sudden you look up, it's a full count. Tell me what your mindset is and how you really bear down in those at bats.
No, I mean, you don't get many pitches to hit. So I mean, especially last year and the years before, how things are going for everybody, you know. So I think I mean, since I was a kid, I mean, I always hate striking out. So even though I've been striking out a lot in spring, so it's not in a good form right now. But like, I always bear down, you know. I always joke up and try to put the ball in play because you never know what can happen, you know. Maybe I can get a base hit, or an infielder makes an error. There's a better chance that way to get on base than just striking out, you know.
Didi, I know you've taken some photos this spring again. What's your favorite thing that you've taken a picture of so far this spring? Is there anything that stands out?
I mean, to get to shoot sports, I think that's one of my favorite. You know, it's been a while since I came on the field with a camera and take pictures. So I think doing this is like really awesome. Because normally you're playing, you don't get the chance because you always ask people for the pictures, but now I'm taking it. So that some of the guys are coming to me asking for this.
That's so cool.
You ever talk about photography with Aaron Nola? Because he likes to take a lot of pictures too.
I mean, we talked a little bit last year, but we haven't talked this year. You know, it's we don't have time to sit down and talk about it. Everybody's busy doing their stuff. So.
Before we let you go, tell us about this clubhouse. I mean, it just seems like the chemistry overall has been really good so far this spring.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's the best. You know, the guys that are here, like even the minor league guys and everybody, it's like everybody's clicking together, so everybody's good. Everybody's like having fun, enjoying, and doing everything right. So I think if everybody keep each other loose and joke around and all that stuff, so it makes everything easier for everybody. You know, so. You know, trusting each other and enjoying the game. Even in the clubhouse, you know, crack a little bit of jokes, and we go out there, practice, have fun, and play the game the right way. I think that's the best way to go about business.
How much do you like playing for Joe? I mean, you played with him a couple times now. How much do you like playing for Joe?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, he's like a player manager. You know, always ask about his player, how the players are doing, and fighting for them in every situation. I think that's the type of manager you want and need with you like all the time.
That's cool. All right. Well, listen, we'll let you go. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
Thanks, Didi.
Thank you. You guys too.
All right. Didi Gregorius, our guest. Always love catching up with Didi.
Another man who just loves playing baseball.
Absolutely.
He just digs it. He loves it. Of course, if you had that skill set, you'd have a lot of fun playing baseball too.
You know, it's funny too. You mentioned the opposite field home run. I totally forgot that he has no career opposite field home runs. I love his swing though from the left side.
I know.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
I love that sinker.
Phillies have made some changes to their defense. Behind David Hale, who takes over for JoJo Romero. JoJo had a scoreless inning. Derek Hall, you saw 88. He's at first base. Back to the box. 1, 2. Well, that's a nice way to erase a line drive off your backside. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Time to stretch, Ben. Phillies down 3-1. Selection with a local favorite. The limited edition 1980 Champions fitted cap is designed by local fitted hat collector and Phillies fan Chris Pancake Ashcroft. This premium cap is available for $45 exclusively at the New Era Phillies team store located at Citizens Bank Park. Go to phillies.com/New Era for store hours.
You read that extremely well.
Appreciate that. I didn't do it with the same, you know, raspy voice as you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Here is Yolis Chassin, who spent this offseason. He was able to establish his U.S. citizenship. Veteran right-hander who we've seen in Arizona, with Colorado, and now for the Yankees. Nick Maton will lead things off. He's playing third base now for the Phillies. A couple other changes for the Yankees. Hoy Park is at second base. Peraza has joined into the fray at shortstop. Velasquez is over at third. I think that's the only changes. Those are the only changes right now for the Yankees. Bottom dropped. And it's 0-1 to Maton. Maton at 231. And that average will jump up. Park could not get to it. A leadoff single in the 7th.
Shortstop, C.J. Chatham.
C.J. Chatham will come up. He's playing shortstop for the Phillies.
A nice turn of the double play from Hale to Chatham to first base to end the top of the 7th inning. There was zero panic on that play. It was a nice play.
One to Chatham, hitting 154 so far this spring. Way inside. I think Chassin had a little eye black issue, Ben.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he forgot where to put it.
I don't know. Rolled over on that one. And Park's throw is a one-hopper that goes off the glove of Gittins. Park's footwork was all over the place on that, because he was trying to rush it just in case. So 1 away. Put out goes 6-4 at second. And Bryson Stott, who came on to play second base for Gene Segura, will be the hitter.
I mean, Bryce Harper's roommate?
Yeah.
Hey, man, who you rooming with? You want to get an apartment together? No, I'm going to stay with Harp.
Stott's played some second base this spring. I think he's played more at second than he has at short. He's a shortstop by trade. Breaking ball, and it's 1 ball. No, ooh, he said he went. Ben, go talk to him about that. All right.
You have to hop on a jet for that.
All right, let's see.
Oh my gosh. Man,
that wasn't even close. 0-1.
You as a hitter, try and get that out of your head, but I mean, it was so bad that it's hard not to get it out of your head. Barely took the bat off his shoulder.
A high fly ball to right. Lemaire shading his eyes. And there are 2 outs.
Center fielder Travis
Jankowski is coming up.
I think that's a perfect example of you as a hitter. You just can't get so result oriented. The swing was good, right? He obviously barreled it. It was in the air forever. He just hit the bottom of it, but everything else was good. I mean, it's hitting's hard, right? Round barrel, round ball. Try and square it up. But that's one thing. Everything felt good. You just, for whatever reason, hit the bottom of it.
Jankowski's had a good spring, hitting over 300 for the Phillies. He has 4 hits and 12 at bats. 1 extra base hit. It was a triple. He's also swiped a couple of bags. That's what he brings. 2-0. Chatham takes his lead off first. Three and one. Chassin made his major league debut back in 2009 as a 21-year-old. He's won 78 games during his 12-year major league career that has spanned 7 different teams. The Yankees would be the 8th. 3-2. Won 15 games with Milwaukee back in 2018. ERA of 3.5, led the National League in starts at 35. Won 14 games with Colorado in 2013. Runner goes, ball fouled at the plate. And Chatham go back to first. Fouled away. We'll do it again. Chatham getting his wind sprints in. He'll head back to the first base bag. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. Another one fouled away.
I think this one Jankowski liked that back.
Shoots it the other way, and it's right at Velasquez. Scrambles to his feet just in time to get the speedy Jankowski. The other side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. Phillies leave 1. We leave for the top of the 8th. Right here.
The Phillies will be here this Saturday.
1 over on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Stream it and all of our games this season with the My Teams app. On and off the diamond, no one covers your Phils better than NBC Sports Philadelphia. Well, with Ben Davis, I'm Tom McCarthy. Got a Cubs fan in town, Ben. Got the W on the shirt. He's even in the wrong state.
Yeah.
Beautiful day down in Clearwater, Florida. Phillies and the Yankees are heading to the 8th inning. Phillies will go back to the bullpen. And Michael E. Noah will be the new pitcher. Rodolfo Duran will take over behind the plate. E. Noah's looked pretty good so far this spring. Long, lanky right-hander who has got some velocity. There is Duran. Ben, as a player, when I tell you 3 weeks till opening day, does anything ring in your head? I mean, because you've been in spring training now for a couple weeks. You've had games for a couple weeks.
I don't think it really changes anything. You just have to stay the course. You know, we heard Sam Fold say he wanted every player in spring training to have a plan. And you just have to really stay the course and just realize what you need to improve on, whatever that may be, and try and get your days that you're not playing, try and get a little bit more extra work in on those days.
I was looking at the calendar today, and I thought about the fact that we're 3 weeks away from opening day. You're kind of getting to the, you know, not to the descending part of spring training, but you're getting close.
Yeah. Definitely more towards the back end, and you know, with the pitchers and catchers arriving there about a week ahead of position players, you know, it's a long journey. It really is.
Bit outside from Noah. Ziegler, a former first-round pick for the Yankees in 2018 out of Cartersville High School. Spent 2019 in Single A. Just played 30 games, hit 175. A little low, and it's 2-2. Three and two. Picked 23rd overall by the Yankees that year. Fouls it away. Yankees' top prospect is Jason Dominguez. He's an outfielder. Then a couple of pitchers, that we've also seen this spring. Clark Schmidt being one, Davy Garcia being the other. Outside, ball 4. And Ziegler, who is listed by MLB as the 22nd prospect in the Yankees organization.
Right fielder, Ryan Lamar.
We don't like to see that 0-2 to a walk. Maybe you can get a ball on the ground here.
Now Ryan Lamar. That ball runs inside.
You know, you look at Rodolfo Duran behind home plate, and you hear Joe Girardi talk about the great stable of catchers that the Phillies organization seem to now have. You know, he automatically just jumps out at me as a guy who's first and foremost, and I know it sounds elementary, but your number one job as a catcher, catch the baseball, right? How good can you make that pitch look to the umpire? How well you can present a nice target to your pitcher? I mean, he's got strong hands, right? You can see that already. He's got a great idea back there. There's a fine line between being too hard, too firm, the way he presented it, and being too soft. Let that ball ride you back. He presents it. I mean, he's got strong hands. But it just seems like all these guys that come into the game that come in after Andrew Knapp or Mathis, and they have a good idea back there of how to present the ball to the umpire. It's great to watch. And that is one thing, and again, I know it sounds elementary, but that is the one thing I see out of major league catchers that has really spiraled downhill, is how well they catch the baseball, right?
Now, do you think that's because they're trying to frame too many things? Or
no, I just think they don't spend as much time on it. I think it's a lost art.
Just catching as a whole.
Yeah, just catching as a whole. And now there's so many different ways we can, catch underneath the ball and present it upwards. It's you see a lot of guys going down on one knee now, and they start with their mitt on the ground and work their way up. A la Tyler Flowers, and he kind of started that whole trend, But it's comforting to see that it still is an art form back there, and how good you can make it look. And he definitely has those good hands.
Yeah, Bob Stumpo gives a lot of credit to Ernie Witt in the farm system. Swing and a miss, 3-2. So Ernie has these guys prepared for whenever they're utilized, whether it be spring training or even beyond. They're prepared to catch a major league game.
Right. We saw that with Marchand last year, 19 years old, coming up, never played above 8 ball. He handled himself extremely well.
See where it goes. Pitch is bounced foul.
We got it, Phil. I think Siegler pretty much had that big stolen, didn't he? Really good jump he had.
The catcher is off and running. Swing and a miss. Throw to second base just a little too high into center field. So a stolen base, a strikeout, and 1 out here in the 8th inning.
Left fielder, Socrates Brito.
They go fastball away. I think he caught a spike, Tom. Did Rodolfo Duran. Kind of threw him off there.
And now Socrates Brito, the 28-year-old from the Dominican Republic. And on the outside corner from Ynoa. Originally with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Had 3 home runs this past offseason in winter ball. Last appeared in the big leagues in 2019 with Toronto. Check swing. Did he go, Tom? No. 1-1. They throw behind the runner at second. Chatham runs that one down. Phillies today got 4 innings from Aaron Nola. He allowed 2 runs. Sam Coonrod allowed 1 in an inning of work. Jojo Romero scoreless. He was quick. David Howell, a scoreless inning. And now it's Ynoa.
Like that pitch there. You see how well he presented that pitch, Did Duran.
Out to center field. Jankowski has room. He took a look where he was. Siegler will tag from second. And the throw not in time. Solid technique out in center field for Jankowski.
First baseman, Chris Gittens.
And now Chris Gittens. J.D. Hammer in the bullpen. That one is smoked into left field, a base hit. Another run for the Yankees, so they'll lead it 4-1 as the throw goes to second base. The stolen base put him in scoring position. RBI single for Gittens. And Max McDowell will be the next hitter for the Yankees.
It's a big man with a quick bat. Leadoff walk, Tom. Had to say it.
Yeah. Well, self-explanatory now, Ben. 0-1. McDowell out of UConn, 13th round pick by the Brewers in 2015. Hasn't played any higher than A ball or double A, excuse me. To the dirt, 1-1. College, he was a lifetime .232 hitter. 3 years and 14 home runs. But works well behind the plate, which has given him a chance professionally. And the 1-1, that's in there. That was tight.
Sure was.
Boy, Duran is quiet behind the plate.
Really is. I mean, he's blocking those balls with ease, and that's even with the knee down, which I'm not a huge proponent of, but he can make it work. JT makes it work.
Yeah, the 2-2 pitch coming. And a line drive, base hit into left center field. Gittens on his way to third. He'll get there. Verling's throw goes into the cutoff man, so single for McDowell puts runners on first and third and 2 outs. And that's going to be it. Joe Girardi heading out. This is our first official pitching change from a Phillies standpoint, I think, this spring. In the middle of an inning. J.D. Hammer is scheduled to come in for Enoa. Try to get this last out here in the 8th inning. Point. Ben, we go all the way back to the first inning. Who would have thought?
First batter of the game. Aaron Hicks gets a fastball up out over the plate. I don't know how this ball goes out, but it does. Give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. That was your Toyota Camry turning point.
In fact, Hicks finished with that home run and an RBI double as well. J.D. Hammer will take over for the Phillies with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And he'll face Oswald Peraza. '20-year-old out of Venezuela. And a pitch outside at 96. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. This past winter ball season, he played in 6 games in Venezuela, hit .250. Spent 2019 in Single A, .263 with 4 home runs and 20 runs batted in for the Yankees farm system. He's a shortstop. Fouls it off. Yankees spent $175,000 on him when they signed him. Listed by Major League Baseball as the 4th prospect, top 4. He's number 4 in the Yankees organization. And he won't be 21 until June of this year. And the 2-2 pitch coming with runners on first and third. Stays alive.
They go up top with another high fastball. I think he'd go fishing for it.
He didn't go up, and he made him pay. Lines it into left field, a base hit. Another run scores. RBI single for Peraza.
Second baseman, Will Clark.
That ball was scolded.
It sure was.
Not going to miss too many fastballs. I don't care how hard it is, right there in the middle of the plate.
That'll bring Hoyt Park up. See his numbers with the Thunder. And a breaking ball. Played for the Thunder in 2019, .272, 3 home runs, 41 runs batted in. 24-year-old from Seoul, South Korea. That one's inside and gets away, and the runners will move up to second and third. It had a little movement on it, didn't it, Ben?
Yeah, I don't know if Duran got crossed up here. The first slider that Hammer has thrown.
One ball and 1 strike. One runs too far inside. Phillies acquired J.D. Hammer from the Rockies organization. 26 now. Made it to the big leagues in 2019 for the Phillies. Pitched in 20 games. 2-2. Got good velocity today.
He does. Another max effort guy for sure.
Three and 2. Runners on second and third. 2 runs have scored here in the 8th inning. And all 4. That'll load the bases up. Second walk of the inning for the Phillies pitchers.
Third baseman, Andrew Velasquez.
And Andrew Velasquez has had a good day. He scored twice, has a stolen base. 2 for 3, up for the 4th time this afternoon for the Yankees.
He's had some nice plays in the field as well.
Yeah. And because of the shift, he's made a couple of those plays even at the shortstop position, despite playing third.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that you grew up in the Bronx. I mean, are you even allowed to be a Mets fan if you grew up in the seriously, like, is that major league frowned upon?
I did run into somebody a couple weeks ago who was born in Queens and was a Yankee fan.
Okay.
So there's some crossover.
And how's it go? It's Mets and Jets,
usually,
and Yankees,
Giants,
and Giants fans. Gotcha.
Oh, 0-2. Pitch number 40 this inning. 1-2.
And what is the reasoning for that? It's just because, I mean, they both football teams play in the same stadium.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they didn't, for a long time, but I don't know what it is. It just probably because it rhymes. Mets, Jets,
Could
Nets. 1-2. 2-2. And that pitch missed somewhere. Joe's right. He does like punching people out. He's just not doing it today.
Scared to pull the trigger.
Somebody would get ejected at this point. Oh, man. Kindling. That's not an easy play. Saved at first. A run scores. Velasquez has his 3rd hit.
And an RBI.
Wow.
Oh, what speed can do. Runners are off. My goodness. And that ball way off the plate.
I mean, there are chips of wood all over the place. He didn't have to slide.
It's a heck of a play by Stott.
It was. Greg Allen takes strike 1. It's 0-1. So Velasquez 3 for 4 in this game from the number 9 spot.
He's really overthrowing here, Tom.
Yankees acquired Allen from the San Diego Padres. '27-year-old. He's been in the big leagues a handful of different times. And he pulls that one. Stott is there.
47 pitch inning.
9 men come to the plate in the inning. 3 runs for the Yankees. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 6-1 game.
Or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Phillies.
MLB Ballpark app is your mobile companion for your return to Citizens Bank Park this year. Manage and view your digital tickets, navigate the ballpark with interactive concourse maps, and check out game day content exclusively through the Ballpark app. Visit Phillies.com to download today. Joe chatting with Bobby Meacham, part of Joe's coaching staff, former Yankee, as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Duran leads it off against Chacin, who will continue on here in the bottom of the 8th. Aaron Boone's used 3 pitchers this afternoon. Cole, Loaizaga, and now Chacin, who pitched a scoreless 7th. As Duran will bat for the first time today. Called strike 3.
Nothing like catching a 47 pitch half inning and then having to lead off. Even that punch out by Tom Hallion wasn't as enthusiastic as you would see during the regular season.
No, it wasn't Tom Hallion-esque. Mickey Moniak hitting .500 this spring.
Really?
Line drive caught by Chacin. 2 outs.
First pitch swinging, not trying to pull it, does his job. Pretty athletic by Chacin.
I think the way this spring's going, that would have been right through the middle for Moniak. Verling up for the 2nd time. He grounded out his first time up. Oh, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got a pretty good hook going. Phillies tomorrow will be in Sarasota to take on the Orioles.
8 pitches.
Finally pulled the trigger, although the one that he did pull the trigger on was probably better. But we digress. Go to the 9th inning. It's 6-1. Back in Clearwater, Florida, the Phillies trail at 6-1. Ramon Rosso is the new pitcher for the Phillies as we start the top of the 9th inning. And he will face the guy who led off the 8th inning, which was 47 pitches in length. 9 men came to the plate for the Yankees. The Yankees wound up with 4 of their 12 hits. And Ramon's pitched well this spring. At least his command has been good this spring.
And he looked for that good natural cut out of his fastball.
So Rosso will start it off against Anthony Siegler. Siegler walked, stole a bag, and then eventually scored the first run in the last inning.
The whole inning started off with a 0-2 count, you know.
Forgot about that.
Led to a walk, and then the floodgates opened.
Ben, like you, this is a switch hitting catcher, Siegler. You are much taller than him. 0-1.
So he's listed at what, 5'11"?
6 feet.
6 feet.
6 feet.
Hmm.
1-1.
A nice little signing bonus. $2.8 million did Siegler. There's that good cutter. It's not a cutter. It's a fastball. He said it just naturally cuts.
Yeah. Everybody has different style for masks. Now they wear it, Ben. Outside 3-2.
Well, I think that guy was just trying not to get fried.
That could be it. 2 birds with 1. Fouled away. Sinkler was both a pitcher and a catcher in high school. He's a switch hitter, but he also threw left-handed and right-handed. Yeah. And on the outside corner.
There you go, Tommy.
That's what we're waiting for. One out here in the top of the 9th inning.
That was more mid-season form.
And Lemaire takes the hook, and it's 0-1.
I guess it took him 8 1/3 to get warmed up, Tom. Huh?
It did almost look like he pulled the trigger finally.
Let it all out.
That's a nasty pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts. There are 2 outs.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of hitters that are ready for that one on March 11th.
Wow. Socrates Brito flied out to center field his last time up and gets a base hit to center field here.
First baseman, Chris Gibbons.
That'll bring Gittens up, who singled in his only at bat, drove in a run.
And he hit a bullet to left field.
There were a couple bullets to left field in that inning. There's the natural cut that Ben's talking about. I mean, that ball just ran. Down the right field line, Moniak sprinting, and it just wasn't up there long enough for him to make the catch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check swing, and that's going to be a base hit. So 2 singles today for Gittens.
A strong man to be able to do that. Check swing.
I would say, right?
I mean, even if there was no shift on, I think it's still a knock, right?
Yes. Unless you had a leaping second baseman that could somehow reel it in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Stott might have been able to make the catch if he was over there. I don't know. Max McDowell, the batter. Just a bit outside. It's 2-0. Oof. 3-0. Litke is in the bullpen for the Yankees. And ball 4. All right, so first 2 batters with relative ease. And now 3 straight base runners for the Yankees.
Shortstop, Oswald Peraza.
Yeah, that'll send Phillies pitching coach out to the mound for a quick conversation. We haven't seen Caleb really out to the mound at all.
He's really letting his guys figure it out on their own.
Caleb Cotham, just 33 years young. Everybody's raved about him from a coaching standpoint. Players have raved about him. He was selected originally, Caleb was, by the Yankees in the 5th round in 2009. Made it to the big leagues with the Yankees in 2015. We know he's young because of his age, obviously, but he was also traded for Aroldis Chapman. So Chapman's still pitching in the big leagues. So he moved quickly after becoming a pitching coach. That sounded like it was hit well. Verling going back to the wall. Does he have room? He jumps. He makes the catch. Staying with it, young man. He just robs a grand slam right off the top of the fence inning here in the top of the 9th inning.
Peraza can't believe it, but he gets back, finds exactly where he is, leaps up and makes the grab. Unbelievable catch there by Verling to save a grand slam. We're on to the bottom of the 9th.
Matt Verling talking with Matt Verling about that catch. Hey, how about the opening month of the Phillies season? Phillies are going to be able to tell an awful lot about their year with those first 14 games against the Mets and the Braves. They also have the Cardinals. Month of April, 13 home games, 14 road games.
Not an easy schedule to start.
No. Matt Verling did make that play look easy out in left field. As we now go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's that play again.
You and I were talking in between. I don't know how that stayed in. Thought that was way out, but he went back, found the wall, and made a spectacular play.
Lucas Litke, his numbers in the minor leagues in 2019. He's opened up some eyes this spring as he'll face Derek Hall. Derek, one of the power hitting prospects for the Phillies organization. Lefty on lefty. First pitch, and it's lifted in the air left side. Velasquez is there. One out. Here are the fifth inning.
For the Phillies, batting, pitch hitting in the DH spot, number 86.
Logan O'Hoppe will be the pinch hitter. Litke so far 3 innings in the spring, 8 strikeouts. And with Zach Britton's injury, Yankees might be looking for a left-hander. Inside, 1-0.
It's hard to replace someone like Zach Britton.
Yeah,
for sure.
Is at the alternate site last year with the Oakland Athletics. Again inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Our next telecast will be this Saturday when the Tigers come back over from Lakeland. 1 o'clock on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
A good curveball there with 2-0 count.
Yeah, they've talked about his curveball a lot. Litke has not been in the major leagues since 2015. He pitched in 1 game for Seattle. 2-2. Since that time, he was with the Mariners, but also with the Angels, with the Orioles, the Reds, the A's, as we mentioned. Two and two. Three and two. Phillies will have Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow as they go to Sarasota to take on the Orioles.
They've done a lot with that ballpark down there.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
3 balls, 2 strikes to O'Hoppe, and he pulls that one, and that's a foul ball. Remember last year Logan O'Hoppe got a chance to get into a couple of summer camp games, but one in particular at Yankee Stadium where he smoked a home run for the Phillies. Place where he kind of grew up going to watch games. Pretty cool feeling.
I still have not been to the new ballpark, Yankee Stadium.
Really?
I have not.
And a called strike 3. He also made a catch at Yankee Stadium when he was a kid. That got a lot of exposure. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Now Nick Maton coming up. Yankees will improve to 6-4-1 if they're able to get this last out here in spring training. Phillies will fall to 4-6-1. That is a really good pitch.
Yeah.
Maton just asked where it was, or if it was a strike, I guess is probably the better way of saying it.
With a strike? Yeah, it was. You swung at it.
Oh, 1 pitch coming. And inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It looks like he's got at least enough zip to respect the fastball as well. Fastball right about 91.
Three and one.
Well, you'd think you get a fastball here. But he did throw Hoppy a 2-0 curveball, so we'll see. Amazing.
Got a curve, 3 and 2.
Amazing.
And now the 3-2 pitch, Kevin. Swing and a miss. And the ball game is over. It's a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Litke, who continues a stellar spring. 4 scoreless for the Yankees and 10 strikeouts. So Aaron Boone's team wins it by a final score of 6-1 here this afternoon. Our Chevrolet player of the game, we'll go back to Garrett Cole, the starting pitcher for the Yankees.
Very explosive. You knew you'd see some good stuff, but he was in midseason form today. The fastball was explosive, topping out at 98. The really good changeup there to Didi. The curveball was electric, even mixing a couple sliders. So he was really, really on top of his game today. That is why he is your Chevrolet player of the game.
3 hours and 3 minutes, 10 strikeouts for Yankees pitching. The Phillies only 1 hit since the third. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.